slang, which I shouldn't call it an English slang because it's an American slang. You know, when I lived in England, the joke was is that the U.S. and the U.K. were two countries separated by a common language, but not used in a common way. So I still tend to use the American. However, I suspect that most of you have probably have picked up on some of the American slang watching American TV. Is that there isn't much British TV on here, is there? That there, I love British comedies. I that there's actually a TV show my sister got me hooked on called the IT Group. It's a British show. It's about three guys that, or two guys and a gal that work in the basement of a building. They're the IT help department, and it's quite comical. All right, let's get back to the to this robot. That there, I don't have a picture of the robot. I should probably let me. You know, let's see if I can take a picture and send it to myself real quick. Real quick. Real. I should have a picture of this. Sorry, but one or two of you are going to be in the picture. Up there. Okay. Oh, I'm slow today. Why am I going for this? Microsoft apps, OneDrive. Okay, the other stuff there. Let's see if it shows up here on my OneDrive. Today, I don't see it there yet. Unfortunately, we'll go the other way. I think there's a camera app on this. Camera. And this is much easier right here. Okay. And let's see. Now the next question is, where did it put it? Right there. Okay. Camera. Here we go. All right. Right there. And where's my pen? Okay. As we look at this, and I don't know if this will let me write on here or not, but we'll try. There's one motor right here. right there. You can see the dot at least as I move across. This rotates the motor this direction here, like this right here. That's motor 0. So this is motor 0. Then we got the shoulder right here. This is motor 1. That allows the robot to go up and down right there. We've got the elbow here. That's motor 2 right here. So we've got, and let me, yeah, I don't want to unplug it, but you can see where I can turn this way. I can turn this one up and down, and then this one here also pivots in this direction right there. So you can see where the motors are right here. We've got another motor right here. This motor 3 right there, that turns this arm up and down. We've got another motor. That's interesting. Let me move that one. Right there, we got another motor there. So this is motor 3. Motor 4 is the one that rotates the gripper here. This rotates, and then we've got motor 4, and number 5 is the gripper right there. So those are our 5 motors. Now each of these motors will rotate 180 degrees right there. So there. So this we figured out. That's the first time I used the camera on this computer, so I'm a little rusty on how to use it. So there. This program, which I will go ahead and put up right now, maybe on Facebook. Might almost be easier to use the touchpad without a mouse. And maybe if it'll bring up Facebook. So, okay, yeah, there's Facebook. Yeah. Computer automation. And more. Actually here, add file. And my computer is very, very slow. I want this, I want. Cobra. No wonder I'm having trouble. My file, choose, and I have to be a real expert with great eyes to read that. I gotta fix that. Why is that so? It's called Cobra Test right here. Post that. All right. So I just posted the file so that you have the file that I'm talking about. Now that's a .m file to be open in MATLAB, is what that is right there. So as we go through and we look at this here, the first thing that's going to be a little hard, and I can't demonstrate it, is when you first plug in the robot, you won't know what COM port it's connected to. So you have to go into the setup mode, and I can't do it right now because this is still 47% there. But if you go into, and it may be, the way I always have done is I've just gone to my PC, this PC, right click, and I hit manage. And usually in the device manager, you'll see, in the device manager, you'll see, in this particular case, I don't have any serial ports connected, so I don't have it. I don't have anything. At the end of the class, I will go through, but you would go through and you would see the robot as a connected device, and I'll tell you what COM port it's connected to. That's it. If not, try ports 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's almost always one of those. But I've just discovered that sometimes these robots will plug into different COM ports right here. But S is equal to serial, and then it's a single quote. In this case, I'm using COM3. The most common is COM3 and COM4. Now, there's a problem with this robot, and I'm not going to get into the design of the robot and all the other details of the robot, but one of the issues that I've run into is that if you open the robot and you somehow mess up programming it, which is easy to do, you essentially have to shut down MATLAB and bring it back up again. And I've actually had where I had to reboot the computer once or twice, so that's there. But that shouldn't happen if you use the wrong COM port. And the easiest thing to do is take this file and comment everything out other than the first line where it says S is equal to serial COM port, set S baud rate, that there F open S, and then come down here and have F close S and delete S, clear S. Those 5 lines will tell you whether you got the right COM port. Because if you don't have the right COM port, it'll give you an error, fail to open the file. So, and again, it all depends on which computer you plug into. That's there, but I've seen actually COM12 show up, so, but 90% of these computers were 3 and 4. That's there. It really grabs the first open COM port, so if COM0 is used for, for the USB mouse and keypads and that stuff, that's there. So, there. Okay, the first 2 things that we're going to do here, and I don't know. This looks like, okay, this is the whole thing right here. This program was written by and modified by myself several times by the folks that sold us the robots that there, and you'll see some things I've commented on here. But the whole goal of this is to go through and test each of the robots right there and see where it's working. Now it looks like I've commented out the first robot testing the rotation of the arm method. But the first thing you have to do is, and this is just the order in which things happen with a robot, you have to just, this is a function of the Arduino code inside the robot controller. So anytime you grab another robot from another source, another user programming, all these instructions are probably that I'm going to give are probably going to be wrong, because these instructions are for this particular robot put together by a particular engineer who wrote the software in a particular way right there. So it's just simply a matter of it's not necessarily a standard. The first thing that this robot expects to see when I bring it up is it expects me to set the speed. And the speed range I can't remember, but 92 is 80% of it, so it goes to like 130 or something like that to zero right there. So, but 92 is 80% speed. You can slow the robot arm down by making that 60 or something else right there. But this is where the speed is set. You only set the speed one time because again, it's the feature of the way this robot's programmed. They did not set this up to dynamically change speed as you're using it right there. So now I stick pauses in there after every command because I just realized that this, depending on the computer you're using, this laptop's an i7, which it did work with a robot last semester, but MATLAB broke on me somehow. That's there. I found that this i7 processor was too quick for some of the things. These are, I think, i4s or i5s processors in older computers. You may not need the pauses. That's there. So the pauses I had to move. So the very first thing I've got here is that I move the robot servo 0 to 180. The way that we move any motor is that we write to the robot the motor number followed by the angle and degrees we want it to be set at. Now this is pretty much standard with programming Arduinos with servo motors, right? That's there. Later, once we've gone through this lab, I'm probably going to bring an Arduino processor over with a servo robot and go through how the Arduino talks to the servo. Right there. So every move requires two commands. One is we send it, we do an F write, which tells MATLAB to write to a file. In this particular case, our file is our COM port 3, right there. And then we give it a degree between 0 and 128 or 180 degrees, right there. And if you look here with the code that I commented out right here, in green, right here, is that for fun, I move the robot from 0 to 180, then I moved it back to 0, and then I moved it to 90 just to see the ranges, that's there. That's probably a good idea. Now, one of the things you have to be careful of is you want to make sure that when you're moving the other joints that the shoulder is at the top level, because you start moving some of these joints with this thing pointing down, you're going to be banging against the table right there, which knocks it completely out of calibration. And we have enough trouble keeping these things calibrated right there. So then I just simply repeat this, and this is essentially the lab that I want you to do this week, is go through with all the other motors and just see the ranges. You just got to write down this motor, this range is this range is this. It's a very simple, and I'll put the lab report up online, but it's a very simple lab just to see that you can move all 8 or all 6 motors right there. So this moves the servo 1, which is the shoulder. It moves servo 1 to 0. Then we move it back to 90 right here. Right there. And we do 0, 2 between 0 and 180. Again, it's 2 right commands for each move. Move right there. Again, I put in a pause after every move operation. So, I first tell it the motor, then I tell it what the angle is. There, and basically I go through and I do this for all 6 motors right there. Close the gripper, and the gripper is 5. Remember, these motors are numbered 0 through 5, not 1 through 6 right there. So if you're going to put something in the gripper, make sure that it grips but doesn't try to close all the way, because it will strip the servo. These servo motors aren't very, what should I say, industrial strength, which is probably good, because if you put in an industrial strength servo motor in these, they could possibly break your finger if you put them in there. But these things will just slip, and it'll eventually, this little motor at the top, here's my picture right here. This little motor here at the top, which you can't really see in this picture. It's my zoom up command. I don't have a zoom up command, but there's a little motor here at the top where it's one that I'm turning there, that will, or that's this motor here. It's the motor I'm talking about is the one here on the side that faces sideways. That's one that opens and closes this gripper, and I can't open and close it actually if I unplug it. Right there. There's my shoulder. That's again, those are in the front. You can see I can move this about 180 degrees. This is the elbow. It moves this direction. This motor here moves in this direction. That's the wrist. Also in the wrist, I can turn it this direction, like here, and then the gripper here. And this is not wanting me to open. The gripper, you got to kind of do it from the side here, but the gripper opens and closes right there. That's motor 5. Right there, yeah. Right there, I open that. You can see there's a little gear mechanism goes over here in the front right here that closes this gripper when it turns. Right there. So, but those are the 6 motors for the robot. Right there. Unfortunately, once this is done extracting, then I got to do the install. So, and I'm not even sure if this version of MATLAB, this is the newest version, 2017. So, there. That's really all I have for you on what I want you to do. So I'm going to give you basically a week off for me talking right there. I will be here Thursday, so keep that in mind. I'll be at KLIA. That there, I don't know, I think our flight leaves like 3:20, but if anybody's ever flown out of KLIA knows that if you show up at 3:20 for a flight, you're not going to get on it. You got to show up closer to about 12 o'clock for the flight by the time you check in and give them your baggage and clear customs. Well, I guess you don't clear customs to leave the country. You just clear immigration. They don't really check what you take out. They check to make sure you're allowed to leave. That's there. So, but so once that there, so sometime in the next day or so, I will post on, and it may even already be there from last semester, but I'm going to delete that one and put a new one up on what I want you to spin on the lab. The lab report, all I'm going to really want is a hand drawing of each one of the motors, showing me where 0 degrees is and 90 degrees is 180. And obviously, since everybody's using the same robots, they're going to be graded pretty much on a binary scale, full credit or zero credit, right there. Because yeah, because you should get the same answers right there. Because on this robot here, if this is 0 degrees, then this is got to be 180 over here, right? And 90 is going to have to be somewhere in the middle, right there. Same thing. If this is 180, this is 0, straight up should be 90, right there. Same thing with this robot arm here. If this is 0, this is 180, and this is 90. Again, I'm not saying that's what they are. I'm just giving an example that as we move, the gripper 0 might be closed and 180 might be full open, right there. The gripper is a little different because it won't show 180. It won't show an angle, but it shows open and closed for a particular. That's there. And my goal for today was actually for me to go through and demonstrate this working. But since I broke my computer, I didn't break. MATLAB taught me using a special version. That there. You can read between the lines when I say a special version. That there, and I have to reinstall a new special version. MATLAB should be legal on all these computers. I mean, they bought a license for this lab only. As I said, the robots are over there. I don't care when you work. I will be here on Wednesday of this week. Tomorrow, I may or may not be here. I get an orthodontist appointment in the morning. If I get if I get finished with that, then I'll come in here for my 12 o'clock. But if not, I'll be here on Wednesday, and then next Monday we could finish up that there. I shouldn't be doing any class changes, doing for personal things. But obviously, my health always comes into play. That there. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap up. It's a relatively short discussion. And it's almost a repeat of what I did last Thursday, I think, because I still can't do the demo. And that's all my fault. If I would have not gone with my wife and her 3 sisters and 2 brothers and all the nephews and the aunts on this road trip, I probably would have been disowned from the family. And then my visa would have been canceled and I'd have to leave the country. And yeah. You guys are all young. You don't know the requirements of being married, right? When there's a family trip, you're expected to show up, right? Just like when Hari Raya comes, and your mother and your siblings are all going around to visit the relatives, you can't sit back and say, I want to stay home and play video games. That doesn't work, right? There. So, since the entire family decided to pack up and go to, how do you say that? Hatya, Hatai, what? Hatai, Hanai. Okay, and then on up Sakla, that there. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but since it was my sister-in-law that arranged the trip, hopefully she never watches the video up there, and it was pretty much the wives that kind of ran everything. It seemed like we spent more of our fair share of time in markets than we did anywhere else up there. Shopping seemed to be the driving force of the trip, and I know there's a lot more to do there than shopping, but that's kind of thing I ran into. I think where was it? I took a cruise when I first got here with it was it was an Islamic cruise with one of the imams. He's on TV all the time. That there, but it seemed like again the major emphasis was, we're going to go to Langkawi. Well, what are we going to do in Langkawi? Well, first we're going to go to to a mosque, and then we're going to eat at the mosque. And then the rest of the day was spent at a shopping mall, duty-free shopping mall shopping. And the only thing I found there in the shopping mall, Langkawi is a beautiful island. I'm not picking on it, but this particular shopping mall specialized in corral dishes, which I've got tons of those because they're cheap in the States. We consider those, the El Cheapo brand that they're corral dishes, suitcases. And how many suitcases can you own right there? Or computer bags and chocolate. Now I found the chocolate worthwhile. I bought a lot of chocolate, but I didn't buy any suitcases and I didn't buy any dishes. But the chocolate I loaded up at. The important thing to me was the cigar shop. For some reason, with 75% of the participants in the group being ladies, I should say young ladies, most of them were middle age or older. Trying to talk the bus driver into going to a cigar shop just didn't seem to fit that there. It just wasn't those things. And I know, Langkawi also sells other things other than, they serve cigarettes and other, alcoholic beverages and things like that very cheap, which I'm not interested in those. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I do enjoy the cigars. My weakness in life is my nightly cigar late at night. That's there. So, all right. Well, now that I'm sitting here recording all my horrible confessions about smoking cigars, right there.